What if Tanjiro could use both sun and moon breathing? We all know sun breathing is the strongest breathing style in history and was created by Yoriichi. Moon breathing is its dark, chaotic twin version, created by his brother Kokushibo. These two styles are polar opposites. One burns demons from the inside out to halt regeneration, while the other creates chaotic crescent-shaped blades to shred them from a distance. But what if the most powerful demon slayer in history could master both? Today, we're exploring a timeline where Tanjiro Kamado becomes the ultimate hybrid. We know that after Michikatsu became the demon Kokushibo, moon breathing was erased from the history books. But Kokushibo values legacy. He was happy to see his bloodline continue in Muichiro. So what if he ensured his techniques survive too? Well, I found 3 different theories. In the first theory, we explore the legacy of the moon. In this timeline, before fully committing to Muzan, Michikatsu takes on a human disciple to ensure his moon breathing isn't lost to time. This lineage is passed down in the shadows for centuries, eventually reaching a man named Sakonji Urokodaki. In this version of history, Urokodaki is the master of moon breathing, not water. When Giyu sends Tanjiro to him, Urokodaki sees that Tanjiro's body is too stiff for the fluid adaptability of water. However, Tanjiro has a natural rhythm that suits the chaotic, offensive nature of the moon. Urokodaki teaches Tanjiro total concentration breathing and trains him in the various forms of moon breathing. Tanjiro turns up at final selection with a technique far stronger than the water breathing he used in canon. The Hand Demon, Susamaru, and Yahaba are far less threatening. Moon breathing 16 forms rely on creating vortexes of slashes. Against the Arrow Demon, Tanjiro uses the third form, Loathsome Moon Chains, creating 2 giant crescent slashes that destroy the arrows before they can even touch him. The first major change occurs against Rui, the Lower Moon 5. In the original, this was a catalyst for awakening the Hinokami Kagura, because water breathing wasn't strong enough to cut Rui's threads. However, here, the irregular crescent cuts of moon breathing are already sufficient. The 7th form, Mirror of Misfortune, Moonlit, launches a frontal slash that expands into multi-directional blades, shredding Rui's webs instantly. Tanjiro defeats Rui without needing to awaken sun breathing yet. So when does he awaken the sun? The critical moment comes against Lower Moon 1 Enmu. Moon breathing relies on chaotic slashing, but Enmu's neckbone, fused with the train, requires a single point of overwhelming, searing power to sever. Realizing that Zenitsu, Nezuko, and Rengoku were protecting passengers, Tanjiro frantically unleashes moon forms, but they just chip away at the bone. In this moment of desperation, he recalls the strength his father generated using the Hinokami Kagura. With nothing to lose, Tanjiro uses the Hinokami Kagura to add raw thermal power to his moon strikes. He unknowingly executes the sun-breathing form Clear Blue Sky, but it delivers with the trajectory of a moon-breathing slash. He wins, but the strain of combining the 2 styles for the first time knocks him out, meaning he cannot help Rengoku against Akaza. However, the recovery phase changes everything. Tanjiro realizes that while water breathing doesn't suit his body, moon breathing is closely related to sun breathing. They share a common ancestor. This means Tanjiro is not only able to unearth the sun breathing forms with ease, but also manages to blend them with his existing repertoire of moon breathing slashes. This comes to fruition in the Entertainment District arc. When fighting Daki, Tanjiro's erratic crescent slashes cut in all directions. In canon, he struggled with her Obi sashes, attacking from blind spots. Here, he uses moon breathing 8th form, Moon Dragon Ringtail. He creates a massive, long-range slash that acts as a shield, slicing through Daki's Obi and helping him get close. Once Nezuko joins the battle, the Demon Slayers overwhelm Daki without Tengen's support. This frees up Inosuke to accompany Tengen in the fight against Gyutaro from the start. Because Tengen is never left alone, he never loses his arm or his eye. Tengen survives the arc fully intact and contributes to the final battles later. Now, that's just the narrative change, but let's look at the science of it. Why would Tanjiro be able to use both when Michikatsu couldn't? In the second theory, we explore the genetic anomaly. Moon breathing branched out from sun breathing because Michikatsu couldn't master the original. This suggests the technique might be fundamentally incompatible for most users. However, Tanjiro possesses something Michikatsu never had: direct inherited access to sun breathing through the Kamado bloodline and the Hanafuda earrings. This genetic connection allows him to bypass the limitations that force Michikatsu to choose one path. Tactically, that's terrifying. Sun breathing excels at raw power, deep breathing for oxygen intake, and preventing regeneration by burning cells. Moon breathing excels at range, chaotic movements, and creating phantom blades that make trajectory prediction impossible. Imagine the combo. Tanjiro creates a hybrid form, Solar Crescent. Against Akaza in the Infinity Castle, this is the ultimate counter. Akaza's compass needle ability detects fighting spirit and physical alignment to predict attacks, but moon breathing creates phantom blades that vary in length and size. When Tanjiro swings his sword, the compass tells Akaza the blade is 1 meter long. But moon breathing generates crescent blades that extend 3 meters further. Akaza dodges the physical blade, only to be shredded by the phantom crescents. Tanjiro then layers sun breathing on top. He uses Lunar Inferno, using moon precision to guide sun flames. The visual spectacle would be a golden solar flame intertwining with silver moon crescents. Furthermore, there's the breathing rhythm. Sun breathing requires intense, explosive breaths that flood the body with heat. Moon breathing uses controlled, measured breaths. Alternating between these patterns creates a respiratory rhythm that optimizes stamina conservation. Tanjiro becomes a 24-hour demon hunter, stronger during the day with sun, stronger at night with moon. Until now, we've seen Tanjiro learn it from Urokodaki, and we've seen the tactical advantage. But let's see what happens in theory number 3. This is where Tanjiro becomes a god-tier swordsman who surpasses Yoriichi by unifying the twin styles. In this timeline, Tanjiro doesn't just switch between styles, he fuses them into a single unstoppable force. The divergence solidifies during the Swordsmith Village arc, when Tanjiro faces the Upper Moon 4, Hantengu. The dual mastery completely breaks the fight mechanics. Hantengu's clones rely on overwhelming the Slayer with multiple angles of attack. Wind from the right, lightning from the left. However, Tanjiro's moon breathing allows him to generate a scope of attack that counters every cone simultaneously. He uses the precise crescent slashes to decapitate Sekido, Karaku, and Urogi in a single motion. When Zohakuten appears, Tanjiro combines the defensive perimeter of moon breathing with the burning offense of sun breathing. He adapts to virtually any attack, slicing the wood dragons apart with chaotic moon blades before burning the main body with the Hinokami Kagura. But the true climax is the Infinity Castle. Tanjiro and Muichiro are transported to face Upper Moon 1, Kokushibo. This is the battle of the century, the creator versus the inheritor. Kokushibo's 6 eyes widen in genuine shock. He sees Tanjiro using moon breathing, his own creation, but he mocks Tanjiro. A cheap imitation, he says. And initially, he's right. Kokushibo's demonic moon breathing creates tangible, giant crescent blades that physically destroy the castle columns, surpassing Tanjiro's human version. Tanjiro and Muichiro are pushed back, bleeding profusely. Kokushibo unleashes the 14th form, Catastrophe, Tenman Crescent Moon, filling the room with a chaotic vortex of death. At this moment, Tanjiro realizes that moon breathing alone won't defeat the creator of moon breathing. He switches to sun breathing. Kokushibo freezes. For the first time in centuries, he faces someone who wields both the technique he created and the technique he envied but could never master. This hesitation allows Muichiro to land a critical strike. Enraged, Kokushibo unleashes the 16th form, Moonbow, Half Moon, bringing giant crater causing slashes down from the sky. Gyomei arrives to intercept, but Tanjiro sees the opening. He enters the selfless state and the transparent world. He sees Kokushibo's blood flow. He combines the styles. He unleashes a new, improvised form. Solar Halo Dragon Dance, Moonlight Variation. He moves with the fluid burning speed of the dragon, but every slash releases a cloud of chaotic moon crescents. Kokushibo can't predict the parry because the sun attack has moon aftershocks. Tanjiro's blade turns bright red. He strikes Kokushibo's neck. The sun breathing prevents regeneration, while the moon breathing slashes sever the flesh connections faster than Kokushibo can reattach them. Kokushibo dies, realizing that Tanjiro achieved the unity he and Yoriichi never could. Finally, the battle against Muzan. In the original, they needed everyone, and Tanjiro was turned into a demon to survive. Here, Tanjiro stands as a human, fully conscious. He unleashes his ultimate combined technique, Celestial Convergence. This form harmonizes sun and moon completely. With the memories of the fallen Hashira fueling him, Tanjiro becomes a whirlwind of gold and silver. Tactically, this is Muzan's nightmare. Muzan tries to use his whips to keep distance, but Tanjiro's moon breathing extends his range to match Muzan's, countering the whips mid-air with phantom blades. Muzan tries to regenerate, but Tanjiro's sun breathing burns the wounds permanently. Tanjiro creates a burning barrier of chaotic blades that Muzan cannot touch. The Celestial Convergence allows Tanjiro to defend against the whips while simultaneously closing the distance. He decapitates Muzan viciously alongside Sanemi and Giyu. As the sun rises, Muzan disintegrates. Tanjiro collapses, exhausted but alive. He didn't need to become a demon. The dual mastery allowed him to surpass even Yoriichi, creating the perfect breathing technique that unified the tragedy of the Tsukikuni brothers and saved the world. In this theory, Tanjiro becomes the bridge between the sun and the moon, correcting the mistakes of the past. But this makes me wonder, if Tanjiro could master the breathing styles of the most powerful swordsman. Well, that's the subject of this other video. Click on this video to see what happens when Tanjiro learns all the different breathing styles. Go ahead, click it.